I've heard you describe the locker room in the Attitude Era and how things would be settled in an old school way, and sometimes people would look to you to be the guy to pull people in line. And it made me wonder, like, I look at this generation, the modern generation, a bit of a snowflake generation. Like, I wondered if you look back at the old days and now look at the new school and think, things have changed a little bit. And if so, how have they changed?
Yeah, I think things have changed. And I can't just say that it's changed in the wrestling. I think in all sports, it's a different generation. I mean, it's just call it evolution if you want. One, I don't think the guys are leading the same lifestyles that guys in the past did. Mm-hmm. One, they can't, because everything that they do, there's somebody somewhere doing this. Yeah. I mean, it's just, so I feel bad for them, because a lot of times they can't go off and blow off steam somewhere after they work, because they're constantly under some type of surveillance from people, where I didn't have to worry about that, right? Because there wasn't cell phones and all that. When I came up, it was the locker room was a lot different. It was pretty crusty. You drove everywhere, right? You didn't fly very often. So there were guys that had, there were a few guys that had knives in their bags, guns in their bags. It was a different group of men. Uh-huh. I'm not saying one's better or one's worse, but they just had a different way of settling things, right? Like, if there was a disagreement, they'd go into the shower, and that's where everything got handled, right? Mm-hmm. Either you discussed it, you come to agreement, or you threw down, or, just like what happened to Brody over in Puerto Rico. I mean, he got stabbed and he died, over a disagreement. So
it's pretty serious shit, that.
Oh yeah, man. It was, and that was common fare. I mean, not to that degree, but there was a lot of that happened back in the day. It was when I'm breaking in. I'm talking about the late 80s and even before. Those guys didn't put up with any kind of crap, right? And weren't afraid, to call somebody out. I think today's athlete is just that. They're athletes. They've been trained to do this, and I don't think they have this. I'm sure there's some, but I don't think they have the same bad habits that a lot of us had.
I feel like some of them are lacking that grit, though, that you guys had. Like, you guys were believable bad motherfuckers, whereas now, like, some of them have got the muscles and all of that, but they don't have the character that you could tell. Some of you guys had done horrible jobs and had that mean streak, that working class thing about you. Whereas now, if you manufacture a star and just try and put them and make everyone like them, it just sometimes doesn't click. And I think that's partly why you just don't have as many stars these days. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. That was actually going to be the thing about grit. Was going to be the next sentence out of my mouth. Oh, right. It is. I feel like there is a level of grit that is missing from today's product. And and I don't know that it's anybody's fault. We all aged out, right? And so that new group has come up. Mm-hmm. But it to your point, though, when you watch Brock wrestle, you're interested, like, because he's got this background not only as an amateur wrestler, professional wrestler, mixed martial artist. Brock doesn't do a bunch of crazy moves. Brock manhandles your ass. Yep. You get in there and you get thrown around and you get smashed. Yeah. And Roman has a little bit of that to him. And when he wants to, Randy has that to him when he wants to. But a lot of the younger talent, it's the evolution of that that comic book era, the superhero era.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they drive. That's what's their motivation, and that's what their inspiration is. And they didn't have to, they didn't have to come up and bust heads in bars and figure out how they're going to eat and things like that. And, good
it's
or
ironic,
bad,
though. It's ironic that they're pushing towards that comic book era now, because if the title holder is Brock Lesnar, and the other guy obviously is Roman, who's holding the other title. Sorry, so the two guys at the top are the ones who are doing it differently, like similar to you did back in the day. And so if I'm one of those superstars, I'm thinking, I need to do that. I need to be more tough. And that's what people respond to. They don't, wrestling fans don't need to be patronized. They just need it to be believable. It's no different to watching a movie. And I think that's what obviously you did so well, because who the hell wants to fight a 7-foot guy looking like you?